Okie dokie artichoke. This video is going to be kind of random, mainly because I'm basically asking for help. I crashed it a while ago. You already know about that. Put a bunch of new parts on it. It flies great, but for some weird reason, it has a nasty shimmy every time I either power up or power down. If you have any solutions, please let me know in the comments below. But as for now, see if we can get this thing flying. And I also had the carbon tail boom and the carbon main shaft, and I thought it was a good idea to go on flight mode 2 again in the basement. You know, dumb me, not the smartest tool in the shed. There's some micro trims here. Now let's see, get a little closer look. Power down. No. Every time I shut it completely off, it does that goofy little wobble. I'm not sure why, but if you have any solutions as to why it could be, I've literally checked everything. I know I put new blades and blades grips. I thought they were maybe unbalanced, but they were literally off within maybe a tenth of a degree, or a tenth of a gram. Put the old tail boom on. I even put a new main gear, and I kind of blew up the rear tail rotor, so I put that stock back on. I also put the stock main shaft on, and for some reason it does that goofy dance. Last time I crashed it and actually did a decent crash, it's been doing that ever since. So yeah, this video is going to be kind of random. We're waiting for better weather. It's currently 8 degrees outside, so once it either warms up or we find the time to go out, we'll probably run the RCs outside. And of course, don't think I didn't forget about the nitro. Yes, the nitro is running, and yes, I did fix it. I made a couple of modifications to hopefully stop blowing out the clutch, but it's got a brand new clutch on there. As you can see, it's muddy. Took it for a quick test run the other day, and it's doing pretty good. So there's that. Once it stops being 8 degrees, we'll take the whole shebang out. Those, I'm going to show you how to either waterproof or water resistance them. The steering servo is not waterproof, but that's no big deal. You can find one for cheap, but I'm going to show you how to take apart the speed controller and get that waterproof, or water resistant. So yeah, there is that part of the video. See you on the next half. Alright, I finally figured it out. Luckily I had one floating around, but it was the feathering shaft the entire time. That's the little guy that goes from here to here, in between, that connects the two blade grips together. Do not forget the simple stuff. Noticed it, pulling it out was a little difficult to get out, and this bearing on here is completely stuck. So like I said, luckily I had a couple of spares floating around, but that for me was the fix to the wobbling. So we're going to do a quick flight. I did the manual trim For some reason, I couldn't get it to do the whole dance and all the other stuff that the other guys are doing. So basically what I did was I quite literally made sure the trims were set to center, and I just kept it running and manually set these. So now, I know it's not on right now, but it's a lot more centered. It does correct when I turn it back on. So yeah, quick little flight, and we're gonna try this thing out. So hopefully it goes well. Yeah, give me a second. All right, now everything's ready to rock and roll. There is a few other things that I had to tinker with, but none of which really would have added to the vibration of the whole shebang. But here goes nothing. And smooth it right out. I do got to do a couple of little sub trims to make it happy, but actually, you know what? Let me do that right now. Let's try that. Still fighting me. For some reason, I can't recalibrate the gyro on this, and I don't know why, but get out of the wash. Woo. Now, I don't care what people say. You can calibrate your gyro all you want. You can make sure everything's 90. There's only so much you can do. Everything else is sub trim. But as you can see, even in rotor wash, I got a very solid hover. One more click should do it. Keep in mind, this is basically hands off. So, and it's flying much better. So if you're having an issue with the wobble on idle up and idle down, definitely check the feathering shaft. Because the refrigerator's too close to the wall. And I'm holding this solid of a hover this low to the ground. Which is pretty impressive. So, cap things off. Make sure everything's extra straight. You will probably have to redo sub trim after a big crash. Make sure the servos are as close as possible, and you'll have a solid flyer. Now, mind you, I am still in mode 1, which is gyro and low rates and all that good stuff. But like I said in the beginning, I'm not much of a 3D helicopter guy. This is the first actual, I guess, legitimate RC helicopter I've had in 10-15 years. So the fact that I can fly this well with this little input lets you know that this is actually a solid little helicopter. So I'm going to land this sucker, and you're going to see that it actually is much smoother than it was. Right about here is when I had the problem. Nothing. Not even a speckle of vibration. That's how it should be, folks. Anyways, hope you like and subscribe. Peace.